Welcome to today's episode of the Be Sure podcast. Living with epilepsy involves challenges beyond seizures, including stigma and emotional impact. However, with the right treatment and adjustments, many people with epilepsy can lead active lives. To help us better understand this, we are fortunate to have a renowned consultant neurologist with extensive experience in treating epilepsy. Welcome, doctor. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is a seizure and how does it affect the brain?
Yeah. So a seizure is a term which actually means that something has taken control of your body. So, it's an involuntary activity, as in the patient does not know what is happening to him. But due to some electrical disturbances in the brain, this thing originates, which is also known as Mirgi ka daura in Hindi, colloquially known as. And it happens as if like somebody is taking control of the body and the body is convulsing on its own because it's having different kind of activities in which the brain is not in the control of itself and it is producing several tonic and clonic movements. So this is your seizure.
What is epilepsy?
So, a seizure is a single phenomena. For example, if those movements occur for once or for twice, that is the motor component is known as the seizure, motor as well as sensory components. But epilepsy is two or more seizures unprovoked. There is no trigger, you could not find any trigger, and they have occurred 24 hours apart, at least 24 hours apart. So, that is epilepsy. Epilepsy is the whole spectrum and seizure is just that one event.
What are the different types of seizures and do they affect people differently?
Yeah, sure. There are different age groups and they are all differently affected by seizures because like our brain responds differently to every kind of seizure. So for example, even children have a lot of seizures, lot of epilepsies, but children you're not very aware because sometimes they don't present with like motor components very like shaking and things like that. They could just be staring at a wall and you could feel that they are not paying attention, so those are known as absent seizures. So it's very important to understand that whenever a child presents with like he's not doing good in school and things like that and teachers keep scolding them, you know you should visit a neuro physician so that if it is seizure it can be treated very well. Now then comes childhood and young age. So there are a lot of things such as head injury, infections, and things like that. Even genetic component. So those can be the seizures. Again, in elderly, the whole panorama shifts. For example, in elderly, if you have sudden onset seizures, most commonly it may be due to a cerebrovascular accident, or it may be due to some electrolyte disturbances or brain infections and things like that. So it is different for different age groups.
I see. Now, can you explain what causes epilepsy? Is there always a known cause?
Not really, no. There is not always a known cause. So there is a medical term which we use, which is known as idiopathic. Idiopathic is a type of thing which for which you have not like you would not get a cause. You did all the detailed investigations and everything, but you could not get a cause. So many of the seizures are many of the epilepsies are idiopathic. And most of the time the epilepsies there are many epilepsies which are like we don't know why what happened actually, but it happened. So it may be due to some electrolyte disturbances, due to some infections, due to some kind of shock to the brain which the brain could not take properly, and it generated abnormal discharges. Otherwise, most of the childhood epilepsies and those that present with syndromes and intellectual retardation and things like that, those might have a genetic basis as well. Now there is another term which is known as cryptogenic. Cryptogenic is like you tried to look for all the causes that you could find, but you could not find anything. So you are sure that it is caused by something, but you don't know what it is. So it is that. So these are the basic causes.
Well, that's really helpful to understand. Well, what are some of the signs or symptoms of epilepsy that caregivers should look out for?
Sure. So, first of all, if the person is a known case of epilepsy, then you know that the person may present with things like some very vigorous shaking of hands and legs. If there is a motor manifestation of seizure, it's comparatively very easy to find it out, because obviously you can see the person having so much movement and things like that. But in the case of some seizures, which are known as complex partial seizures, which arise from the temporal lobe mainly, in those the person just looks lost. He'll just look lost. If you try to talk to him, he won't say anything. What he's uttering, you won't be able to make it out. So there are different variations of seizures. So one should be very aware that whenever you feel that a person who is a known case of epilepsy is behaving differently, just let's keep it at this, that if that person is behaving differently, he's not he seems confused, is not aware of what you are saying, it looks like he could comprehend things just a few minutes back but now he cannot. So these
Yeah.
can all be manifestations of seizures.
Now, let's talk about something that many people with epilepsy face: stigma. Can you tell us why epilepsy is often misunderstood?
I think it has a very like, there is, as you correctly put it, there is a lot of stigma attached with it, because like for example, there are certain things that people can't see. For example, if I say I have a headache, so everybody is like, okay, I can't see your headache, right? So you have a headache, so things like that. But if you see somebody behaving very abnormally, and you see somebody shaking, jerking, people tend to get scared by it, and I think that gets transferred into that negative connotation that some spirit has taken. Even now, like I work in a like tertiary care center, and even there we get to listen to so many people. They say कि इसको भूत ने पकड़ लिया है and things like that, which I think is absolutely if you're pejorative about it and you just condemn it, it's not going to help much. But we need to educate people that it is just another disorder which is caused by different problems in the brain, and it can be taken care of. So there is no point just attaching a label to something and not trying to improve the situation. So that is my.
How does this stigma affect people with epilepsy?
It affects them a lot. For example, I had a very young patient who obviously belonged to a very rural background, and so the parents were very interested in getting her married and things like that. So for years and years, they just deferred the whole situation. They knew that it could be something related to a medical problem, but they just could not show it to a doctor, because they were so afraid that if the doctor sees, if we go to the doctor, everybody will come to know who will marry her and things like that. So these things are prevalent even today. And when they, at last, when the situation was very extremely worse, she used to have multiple seizures in a day. She even developed cognitive retard, as in her brain stopped working that fast. So after that they came to us, and it was a very hard time treating us. And what we used to tell those parents were like कि अगर आप इसको पहले ले आते, अगर आपने पहले किया होता, तो things could be so much better. So ऐसा थोड़ी होता है कि मतलब किसी ने कोई बीमारी choose की है, things like that. It is just another medical illness, and we have such a good line of treatments and everything. So it's one of the most treatable parts of neurology. So yeah, it hurts when there is so much stigma associated with it.
Absolutely. Now, let's move on to managing epilepsy. What are the common triggers for seizures that patients and caregivers should be aware of?
Yeah. So the first thing is कि if you are a known case of seizure, you should be very aware of your timings, like when you are taking the drug. For example, if you are taking a drug early in the morning and you like missed it, so that is the major thing. You cannot be non-compliant with the with taking the drug as and how your doctor has prescribed it. So you can't miss even one dose, because the blood levels of things, blood level of drugs is very very delicate balance is there. So first thing is you cannot miss any anti-seizure medication until and unless it has been told to you by your doctor. Some changes are made by your doctor. The second thing is a sleep is very important, because in epilepsy your brain is prone to getting disturbed very soon. So if you don't sleep properly, because there are several types of epilepsies. One of them is juvenile myoclonic epilepsy. In that, if there is even a little deficit of, commonly we see people, they come to us, young boys, and they'll be like कि कल हम शादी में गए थे, कल हम किसी पार्टी में गए थे, हमें सोने में लेट हो गया, and then early morning I had this big seizure. So sleep is
Yeah.
very important. If the sleep is disturbed, then also, then obviously other things, for example, other infections such as systemic infections like fevers, any dehydration, any electrolyte disturbances, and all those things, anything that kind of puts the pressure on your brain can affect you to have a seizure.
That's a great tip, doctor. What other lifestyle adjustments can help someone manage epilepsy?
Yeah. So lifestyle changes, for example, until and unless the seizure, the epilepsy has not been treated well. So I would advise everybody, for example, if there are people who are in occupations where driving is concerned, for example, you are a professional driver or you're a goods driver, things like that. Until and unless your seizure is not properly managed, your doctor doesn't give you a go ahead to start driving and things like that, you should just wait for the epilepsy to be controlled to a major extent. Then again, there are young children who might go to learn swimming and things like that. Again, it is a little bit difficult, because like for example, if the child is swimming inside the pool and you get a seizure, then nobody will come to know. It's like life threatening situations. So until unless things are controlled from a medical perspective, you can try to prevent these activities where you're going alone. Like for example, if you're waiting for a metro and things like that, there is a kind of epilepsy in which your body just rotates. So I had seen a video long back where that person was standing very close to the line, metro line and things like that, and that person just fell down because he got a seizure. So you never know when you are going to get a seizure. It's always better to take somebody along with you and just try to prevent those hazardous circumstances. But once your seizure is treated, your doctor is like, it's okay, now you're well controlled, now there is no problem, then you're just another person. You can do every damn thing under the sun. So you're just a normal person who has a medical illness which is controlled.
Thank you so much, doctor. To wrap up, could you share some safety tips to help prevent injuries during seizures?
Sure. The first and most important thing, for a not for a seizure patient, but for the public who's surrounding them, is like whenever you see somewhere a person is getting any abnormal body movements, and the person is not conscious, not he's like confused, and he is not frothing from mouth, eyes are up rolling, things like that. You just have to place the person safely in a non-hazardous place. For example, if the person is very close to vehicles and things like that, this is basic common sense. You just take the person away from that place. You
Yeah.
do not put anything in that person's mouth, never ever. You people, they put some things like that to prevent like tongue bite and things like that. Don't do anything, just make the person turn to the left side. Do not offer that person anything from mouth. You just call for help, medical help, and let them do whatever is happening. Don't start making them smell some abnormal things like footwears and things like that. You don't do anything. You just turn the patient, you keep them in a safe environment, you turn them towards the left side, and do not offer anything from mouth until and unless medical help arrives. Just do this much, and this would be enough. For people who are having epilepsy, please try to be very compliant with your medications. Do not miss them. And even if you have missed or there is a seizure, you see your neurologist immediately, and you try to prevent all these things, and so you have a better lifestyle. One another thing that I would like to point out here, which is very important and regularly ignored, is that there are a lot of psychiatric manifestations of epilepsy as well. For example, if a person who has epilepsy, they also have a lot of psychiatric issues
Yeah.
like anxiety, depression, mood, and things like that. So even those, if you're having, they might even be medication induced. So if you are having those symptoms, if your family member who has epilepsy has those symptoms, you please go and talk to the neurologist. take proper treatment for that also. So there will be this overall health improvement.
Thank you so much, Doctor. This has been incredibly informative and helpful. We hope today's discussion helps listeners better understand epilepsy and how to support themselves or their loved ones, of course. Any final thoughts?
See, I have become a doctor just to be able to help even one person. So if you're listening to this, if
Yeah.
you can help even one person who's having a seizure, who's having an epilepsy, and epilepsy is like it makes us so happy. It makes us neurologists so happy because like we are able to control this for you, for your betterment. So if you see anybody, if you hear of anybody, don't have this stigma. It's just another headache or fracture or things like that. You just have that in mind, just a medical illness. Go seek early consultation and get well.
Thank you, Doctor. And thank you to our listeners. Until next time, take care and stay informed.